concerns, organizations are changing and more companies are adopting working remote policies, providing employees the possibility to work from home. The next couple of days, we are hosting webinars that will help you to use our tools and services remotely at its best. If you have any questions during this webinar, simply write them to the chat. At the end of the session, I will address any questions that are submitted. We will record this webinar so we can send the recording and the presentation in PDF to anyone that missed this webinar, and we will send the recording and presentation in PDF to current attendees like you for later reference. Now, to go back to the topic of this webinar, a softphone is a software program that you can install, and when you combine it with your Dynamix Business Voice extension, you can have phone functionality on your computer instead of using a desk phone or any other communication hardware. The software provides you a dial pad and features such as mute and conferencing. By using the microphone of your computer or a headset that you can plug into your computer, you will be able to communicate on your calls. With the softphone, you can enjoy all Dynamix Business Voice features that you have on your desk phone at the office. This webinar contains 3 sections to keep it simple. The first one will be get your softphone credentials. You will need these credentials to register the softphone once you have installed the software. The second one is install your softphone. And the third one will be register the softphone with the softphone credentials from the first section. We will start this webinar by getting the softphone credentials. First, you will need to log in to the Dynamix Business Voice portal. Simply go to portal.voice.dynamx.net and enter your credentials. If you forgot your credentials, simply press Forgot Login Name or press Forgot Password and follow the steps. If you are a new user, click on Are you a new user and set up your account. Once you are in the dashboard of your Dynamix Business Voice portal, click on the Phones tab, which you can find right here. This will give you an overview of all the phones that are registered in your account. If you do not have access to your phone settings, this is possible if you have a certain company permission set. Please contact your company administrator to request your softphone credentials or ask them to set up a softphone for you. The next step will be to set up a softphone extension. Simply click on the button that you can find right here to add a phone. A pop-up will appear. All you have to do right here is enter a phone suffix. This can be any letter from A to Z. All the other settings, such as model, preferred server, or overrides, you can leave as is. Click on the button Add once you've added the phone suffix to add your softphone extension. You will find your softphone extension in your phone's overview. Make sure you've selected the softphone extension and click on the edit icon to edit the softphone. Another pop-up will appear, and here you can find the information that you need for the software. You have to write down domain and proxy, write down the username, and write down the password. This is information that you need for the software. And that's all you need to do in the Dynamix Business Voice portal. So we go to the second section, and that will be to install the softphone. We recommend Xlite of Counterpad, and this is a free softphone software with a lot of useful features. And since you will be receiving the PDF once it's available of this presentation, you will also get the link to download the software. Once the download is completed, you can click on the installation package to start your install. You will be prompted to accept the terms of the license agreement. Once you have read the license agreement and you accept the terms, simply hit the checkbox underneath, I accept the terms in the license agreement, and hit the button Accept. This will finish the installation. After the installation is completed, you can open the application from your Start menu or simply by looking up Xlite or Counterpad. And this is, once you open the application, this is what it will look like. And you will see a prompt that says, account is not enabled, go to account settings. You can click on account settings to go to account settings. You can also hit the menu Softphone and select account settings from there. Once you're in the account settings menu, you have to fill out the following fields. The first one is account name. Here you can give the Softphone software or phone, the extension that you have in there, a name, and this can be anything that you choose. Make sure the protocol is set to SIP, but this is done by default. And make sure that allow this account for call is checked and IM is checked, but this will be done by default. Under user details, you have to fill out the user ID. This is the username that you have written down in the first section, where you were able to find the information in the Dynamix Business Voice portal. Under domain, you have to fill out the domain that you have written down in the first section. And at password, you have to fill out the password that you have written down in the first section of this webinar. At display name, you can enter a name for outgoing calls. This can be anything you choose. You can also leave it blank. Authorization name is optional, and this can be anything that you choose. The last section will be domain and proxy. Make sure register with domain and receive calls is checked. Under send outbound via, make sure you select proxy address instead of domain. At the proxy address, enter softphone.voice.dynamx.net. And once you've filled out all the required fields, account name, user ID, domain, password, and the proxy address, click on OK to save your settings. It can take a little while to register your account. However, once this icon turns green and your present status is set to available, you are ready to place calls because that means your account is registered and activated. It's also possible that you receive an error message. Simply return to your account settings and check if you made a mistake, and if you make any change, hit on OK to save your settings again and check if your account will register with the second attempt. Once your account is registered, you can use the dial pad to place calls. You can click on it, and if you go to this bar right here, you can also type a phone number. By pressing on this green icon, you can place the call. Once you have an active call, you will see a minor menu screen right here where the call is established. And here you have certain features such as mute by clicking on the mute icon. You can put the call on hold by pressing on the pause icon. And you can convert this call into a video call by pressing on the video icon. You can hang up the call by pressing on this red button. You also have the option at the top where you can select the headset icon for your headset or set it on speakerphone. With this slider, you can manipulate the volume of your call. Underneath, you can find 4 icons. This first one is, of course, the dial pad that we are on right now. The second one will be your contact list, which will come from the Dynamix Business Voice Portal. The star icon is for favorite contacts if you have any selected. And the clock icon is for your call history, where you can see all your past, received, and outgoing calls. And that's pretty much it. Are there any questions that you can type in if you have any in the chat? And I can check in the meantime if there are already questions submitted. I don't see any yet. So hopefully that means that this webinar was pretty straightforward. I do want to thank you for attending this webinar. And next Friday, my colleague will host another webinar on how to set up a virtual conference room for better collaboration. For now, I would say go ahead and play around with the Softphone. If you run into any issues or if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us by going to dynamixcloud.com/support and submit a ticket, or simply send an email to support@dynamixcloud.com. The recording of this webinar and the presentation in PDF will be on your way once it's available. Enjoy the rest of your day.